What's up, guys? It is Will here, back again for another episode of Collectors Mingle every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we got us another Avengers level panel here this evening, and we got us some Avengers level topics, if you will. Enough to keep us busy for sure and keep us chatting about everything that we love, figure related, all the news, all the updates, all the philosophy. We're going to do it all here tonight on Collectors Mingle, coming at you every Sunday. And of course, a little bit earlier tonight, per usual. I think this is going to be our time moving forward until The Last of Us is over. Then when The Last of Us is over, we'll go back to 8 o'clock. Unless people want it to be at 7:30, then we'll just keep doing it at 7:30. But let us know in the chat. I can even put a poll up because polls are the new thing. Thank you so much to Mr. Xander, because I know he always reminds me, hey, Will, do a poll. So I try to do them. Nonetheless, guys, before we get into our topics, let's address our amazing panel. Mr. Dean the Dream, how you doing, bro? Happy to have you back with your amazing facial hair and, of course, tongue, according to the ladies.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah.
Dude, no foreplay on the show, Dean. We just go straight in for it, bro.
Yeah, raw dog. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. I wasn't expecting to be on today, but, you know, Will put out the bat signal and I answered the call, so.
Yeah.
We're in a rock. Are you liking The Last of Us, dude?
What'd you say?
Are you liking The Last of Us?
Dean, don't tell me you don't like it, bro.
I refuse to watch it.
Oh, dude, why? You gotta watch it, bro. It's good.
I have no faith in Neil Druckmann, dude.
Trust me on this one, Dean. It's in good hands. It's gonna be all right. It's good, dude. I'm telling you, it's really good, actually.
It sucks ass.
And even Carlos like that. He doesn't even like good things. So, you know.
Wow.
Carlos liked it, bro. And you can't trust his opinion on anything.
Yeah,
so.
It's as good as Star Wars, so that should tell you something.
See? But Dean, happy to have you, bro. Good to have you back, man. And I talked to Zach as well, Aux Daddy, Aux Father, for the people who know him. Got to bring him on sometime soon. It's going to happen. But yeah, man, representing Collecting Weekly. Appreciate having you, Dean. And Mr. Leia, 1/6 scale, man. How you doing this evening, bro?
Hey, I'm good, man. Peachy.
Yeah. Dude, peachy is a good word.
Yeah, bro. Pretty good, man. Just had a good
Peachy.
day. Yeah, man. Straight up. It's just, you know, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do anything today, man. Our internet in the area, in this particular area, had gone out. Like, well, it was down to like its lowest percentage, but they caught it and they sent the technician out. You know, we didn't have to call. They got everything taken care of, like while me and Toya were out at the gym yesterday. So they kind of fixed everything while we were out. And I was kind of monitoring that because it went out. Well, it was starting to go out on what was it, Friday evening when I was running the show. And had to have Lumi and Lou pick it up while I was trying to work on it. But it's dope, back in order, man. So I'm happy about that. But I didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen today. But I mean, I tested it last night. Everything was cool. Got on Rob's show, got on Mafia show, and everything's been cool since.
Bro, I hate those outages, man.
Yeah, bro.
They mess everything up, man. I know Carlos remembered, I was on Aries show maybe like a couple weeks to a month back, and I literally, my internet was just like going out like every 5 seconds.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's so frustrating because you're just like, damn it.
Because if you're looking at StreamYard, like it'll let you know, like if your connection is there to say your connection is unstable and stuff like that. So yeah,
every once in a while, it's StreamYard though.
Yeah,
I'll have perfect signal in my house.
Yep.
Yeah,
StreamYard won't connect.
Exactly. That's the way it was, bro. Like
it's
because
so awful.
My connection on
because you have tornadoes, bro. It's not StreamYard.
Phones were working. Internet, like TV cable, everything that's connected to was working fine.
StreamYard's just not optimized very well.
Yeah.
Really?
I hate it. I really don't.
Cancel it.
You hate StreamYard. Please don't listen to Dean and take.
But you know what? StreamYard doesn't. The only thing that they don't do, bro, like, is if there are issues like that, you'll never know. Like you don't.
You won't.
There's no transparency. Like I don't know if there's a problem. Like they don't send you notifications. You don't get anything. You know what I mean? It's just it'll fuck up. So
it'll fuck up, and you're just that's what it is. Yeah, because sometimes you're right, Dean. Like my connection will be perfect, and it'll say connection unstable, and I'm like, what? And then it'll just like it'll reconnect itself. Yeah, so it's all good. But yeah, it should be good. But happy to have you here, Layout. It's gonna be a fun chat, man. We're gonna chat about some figures. Definitely a couple I know you're gonna be really excited about. So it's gonna be fun. Man. So, but Carlos, happy to have you here, Mr. Place for Collecting, bro. How's the shoulder workout going?
My shoulders are fine, bitch.
Carlos does not have small shoulders, guys. So I want to set the record straight.
Dude, no. You know what's funny is that I was talking to some of the mods yesterday. We typically do now like a video call just to, you know, shoot the shit.
Yeah.
And Riley's dumbass jumps in here and there. But a few of them are like, oh yeah, like, you know, they may come for the San Diego Comic-Con thing.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, you guys can stay here. You guys are just gonna be, sleeping next to Will. So you may
Yeah,
have roommates.
exactly, bro. Well, I'll be sleeping in the same inflatable mattress, bro.
Basically. So,
Yeah. Yeah, man. But happy to have you here. It's going to be a fun show,
you.
guys. Thank you so much to everyone in the chat. Let me address the chat as quickly as I can here before we jump into our topics. Mr. King Dingaling. Good to see you, King. It's been a while. Hey, Dean the Dream is on as a panel member. Yeah, he is, bro. Dean the Dream is the man. Xander said, I watched the last episode of, what is Fat WS to get hyped for the new Cap figure? Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay, it took me a sec to catch on to that. Forgot not how great some of it was. IMO. Still hyped for the figure though. Not nice to see everyone's enjoying it. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. Primetime reviews. What's up, Rome Reno? What's up, guys? Ready for Last of Us episode 2? The episode is titled Infected, so I'm very excited for that to get our first taste of the clickers. So it should be pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Happy Sunday, guys. Simon, thanks so much. Saveful, some guy, the artist himself, Renz Tarantino, Drew Brees' cousin, Sean Brees Collectibles. Good to see you, Sean. King Killa, Ro Moreno, Xander. Wow, I sure came in heavy with an opinion up there. What I meant was, what's up, y'all? Yeah, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Riley Reviews is here, the man himself. What's up, Riley? Thanks so much for joining, dude. Alvin J, channel member as well. Thanks so much. Ash Chase, not Ash Cheeks. Good to see you, Ash Chase. Tyria, good to see you. Chris Santos. Mike Fayella with his exclamation points. I'm single and ready to mingle. Wait, wrong stream. Hey, you can still do that here, bro, so it's totally fine. Dinesh Thea Garage, channel member. Thanks so much for joining, bro. Barrett, Jason Himmelwright. Good to see you, Jason. Thule, WillFoxification. Hope all is well. Same for you. Collector Chris. Sayful. Lane Kramer is here, the man himself, the ladies' man of the hour.
Lane.
Hey, guys. Good to see you, Lane. It's been a while. So Tyria's here. Let's see. Commander Gree is here. Look at the panel. Absolutely. Rome Reyna said weak shoulders. Yeah, that's Carlos. Don Matan or Don Maton. Don Matan. What's up, fellas? Shelf Scenes. Hi, all. Great looking group. Good to see you. Paul Lee. Good to see you, Paul. Sephiroth is not number one. I'm going to put Riley in timeout, bro, after that one. I'm putting.
Can I do it? He's a mod.
Yeah, he's a mod, so you can't. Barrett said, cannot wait for The Last of Us. Sano Cats. I like that username. Last of Us may be good up until season 2 when the golf club comes out. Yeah. So I think
I actually have a theory about that. So
I think they're going to change it. I think they're going to
change it too.
Duran Moss. How you doing, Duran? I think that's how I'm pronouncing your name. If I'm not pronouncing correctly, let me know. Philip the Fool, channel member. What is up? Collectible Chats. What's up, everybody? Happy and blessed. Let's see. What's up, everybody? Oh, bleed to the chat and panel. There must be an autocorrect type situation. Blessed. There we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was reading blessed.
Is this a limited series?
I think so.
No.
Yeah, I think there is going to be multiple. Well, I guess if it's multiple seasons, I guess it's not limited, right? But it'll probably be multiple seasons. Yeah.
I was gonna say, man, if season 2 is starting off, or game 2 starts off.
I think it will. Yeah, I think they're going to do the whole first game in this first season.
Really?
I think they're gonna change it.
That's a bad idea.
I think so too. And we'll move on from this. I think just so too because I think Pedro is too valuable to throw away like that. So I think. I think
not only that, but if you knew your future and how much people dislike it, you would change it. It's like with the sequels. Do you think?
That's why I'm not
Disney
watching it. I know where it's gonna end.
I think they're gonna change it, bro. If people would have known how bad the sequels would have been, there's no way they would have made them at the end or the way they did.
They would have changed something. Yeah, right. Well, I like sequels, but to each their own. Nonetheless, we got to address our first topic of the evening. And I want to talk about Mr. Bane because Bane is super exciting. I know, Lael, I watched some of your live stream, dude. It was amazing, dude. And Lael, I want to start with you. I want to ask the question, how much praise does Hot Toys deserve for the upgrades and price for Bane 2.0? Because I think a lot of us have been praising this figure in general, but I think maybe we can go into a little bit more detail here in terms of like how Hot Toys really went all the way in for this figure.
Yeah, they did, bro.
Like, I mean, the only thing they could have done better, there are two things laid out. Get rid of the wrist peg somehow, and then also make the jackets real leather instead of pleather. Other than that, they fucking killed this. This is insane. So, Leo, how much credit do you think they deserve here? Because this body, everything involved, man.
I think they deserve a lot of credit, bro. To be quite honest. I mean, look, they were, I mean, say what you will. I mean, competition is what it is, but Hot Toys has been here. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. And I think that for them to do something like this, and also to let us know that, you know, even like the topper of the top half itself, all silicone, you know, silicone based, giving us the head sculpt with the purrs. I mean, being, as accurate as they can possibly be, even behind the neck with the scarring.
Yeah, that was dope.
You know, that was amazing. I love that they did that.
Yeah.
And just the build, the proportions are really, really good. Even with the base, like, I mean, I know it's the same base that, you know, it is for Singling the Cow, but it makes sense. Like, it makes perfectly good sense that they would do something like that. You can remove the back of the base itself. You know, both, you know, you get 3 different looks. You get this look, you get that look, you get the with the other one with the other jacket. I think they did a bang up job with this, and basically with all the accessories, everything it comes with, it's worth the price, bro. I mean, I think that price is definitely decent. You know, I had no gripes about it, because here's the thing, bro. I was surprised by it. I had no idea they were
Me too.
dropping this. I had no idea
Same.
that this was going to be a, you know, re-release, you know, and a 2.0, you know, on top of that, which has me hopeful for the simple fact that we could possibly see a bit of retooling even for that Catwoman. I think, to be quite honest, bro, I think that they had to. They've known that a lot of people were pissed off at that Batman Begins. They don't want to make the same mistake twice. There's going to be a lot of things going on right now going forward. And I think that, like I said, when they produce a product, they deserve the credit, like any company who, you know, we've been talking for like the last couple of weeks, you know, of, you know, about INArt, you know, Aragorn, and you know, the Joker figure and what they produce. We know that New Kid on the Block, they're going to do well. They're showing improve. I was talking about this earlier, Will, on you know, Collectors Lounge. We were talking about your video and how your video, like just watching everybody else's, yours was the most honest. And what I meant by that is that
About Joker.
yeah, like
Oh,
you
thank you.
basically
Okay.
told us, you know, you liked it, but then you also gave us things that needed to be improved. And I'm like, I agree with it just by watching it. I was like, yeah, that makes perfectly good sense. So yeah, I like that level of honesty. Even though it's a good figure, we got to always talk about the things that need to be improved, because not everything's going to be 100%. Even like with this particular figure, you talk about the wrist pegs, the jackets. Yes, you know, it definitely is something they can improve on. But from what they've given us thus far with this piece, bro, I am all in. It looks so, so good. And that's crazy, because it started for me, like that journey down here to this, you know, lane of getting back into the Dark Knight started with the DX19, then the Tumbler. You know what I mean? Then getting the Batman Begins, you know, paying off the Selena Kyle, you know, getting the Bat Pod and stuff like that. Once you do it, like being a completion is like, okay, whatever. Having a Joker, and then this drops, I'm like, yo, like literally. But it also proves that they're listening to us, bro. That they are listening. But again, like we said from the very beginning, competition spawns, you know, elevation, innovation. You know what I mean? And I think that's definitely what they've actually done with this piece, bro. So I'm all in for it. I actually ordered through Kit. I did actually
Did you?
pre-order through Kit.
Nice,
Yeah,
bro.
so I
Nice.
got through Kit. I just don't want to make the same mistake twice. You know, insanity. You already know how that is, man. So I was like, you know what? I'll go through Kit, get this piece. And the thing is, I like the simple fact that when you order through Kit, they send you a nice little message, let you know whatever.
Right.
You know, thank you for whatever. It was, you know, pretty good. But yeah, I went through there. I had to get the first batch, bro, because again, this thing is incredible. I can't wait to have it in my collection, and I don't want to wait. Like, I just don't want to wait. I want once it drops, I want that in hand. So yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited for where Hot Toys can go from here. I just hope they get back to consistency. That's what I'm hoping. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I hope so too, bro. And Layout, honestly, man, I gotta say, because I was chatting with Optical about this when they originally announced it before they put it up on Sideshow, and we were both thinking, I was like, this is gonna be $350.
Yeah.
I was like, this is probably gonna be $350, and they put it at $309. We both were like,
Yeah.
damn, that's a
Yeah.
really good deal.
That's a
Considering
good
this
deal.
body, because Optical was telling me this type of body costs at least $120 to $150.
Yeah,
like
bro.
just the body.
Just
So,
the body
and then they
alone,
put the
yeah.
scar and
110.
stuff that they put into it, and this is $309. Like
Yeah,
this
bro.
is a, honestly, for the people that might think this is a little high price, I think that's crazy. Like this is really well priced, honestly.
Bro, for what you're getting
Yeah.
with this, when you think about this again, and I got to go back to it, bro. This is still, for everything that you actually get with this, less than what it would actually cost for that stupid ass Thor Love and Thunder figure.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, it's still less, but I think it's 10 times better. The body, the proportions are 10 times better. This gives me hope for even Guardians of the Galaxy, because it's going to be a last hurrah. They're going to give us another Drax, and I hope that they follow suit with this, bro. They do it this particular way. It would be great for them. But like this right here, just it makes me feel good about the future of where Hot Toys can go, bro. And I think the price for this, like you said, bro, you can't beat that price for this. you definitely can't beat that, man. I'm all in on it.
No, me too, man. And Carlos, what do you think about this, man? Is this going to be an exciting one for you? I know you and I have talked about this about pre-ordering it or not. So where do you fall on how much credit Hot Toys deserve for this? Because I think they deserve a lot of credit here.
I definitely agree. I think they deserve a lot. It's like when they do good, man, we got to praise them. It's like when they did the Vader with the cracked skull and everything. So I see this as one of those like top tier prototype. There can always be improvements. Sure, even with like INArt, there can always be something. My only nitpick, here is going to be the coat. I don't really care about the wrist peg. At the end of the day, they are figures. You do want to articulate them. It's interesting that She-Hulk got a seamless wrist, but he didn't. But I'm assuming it's because it's more posable. I don't know. But I just wish the coat was going to be pleather. But aside from that minor inconvenience, because I know not everyone's going to deal with the pleather problem. I know, Leo, I don't think you've ever dealt with it, aside from your Wanda, I think.
The Wanda was the only figure that I dealt. I mean, it's crazy, bro. Like how quickly that thing. I hadn't had it but like 2 weeks in automatic, and I didn't even pose it a lot, bro. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I just had it in display, and it just started peeling. And now, if you touch it, it's going to fall apart. Plain and simple.
Yeah. So that's kind of the downside. So I won't pre-order just because at this point, for this, even if Sideshow sells out, there's available, KG 16 somewhere you're going to be able to buy it. And just with J&D coming into the picture, and I'm going to wait. Maybe if someone by the end of the year, if maybe someone does a Bane that's going to be real pleather or sort of real leather, but man, just going back to the Hot Toy thing, man, this is great. Like as a top, prototype, it's exactly what we want to see. I mean, Hot Toys is doing great. I think they could really top this if they were to release like a bank Robert Joker. Is that what it is? Yeah. So that would be a really great addition to this. Hopefully, and it'll be really cool is if they release the Camel Tumbler and they repurpose the ones that they can't sell. That would be pretty cool because I think they did something similar with the Mark 50s. But yeah, man, I think this is great. I'm really hesitant because I don't want to pre-order anything. And this is one of those pieces that's really making it difficult for me.
Same.
But I don't want to pre-order nothing. And this is one of those where it's like, damn, like I don't want to cave in, but I just might. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at, bro.
That's how I feel. Because Carlos, you and I talked about this pretty extensively because I was just like, bro, I got to pre-order Bane. You were like, don't pre-order Bane. I was like, I'm going to pre-order Bane, dude. I was like, I can't help it because I'm just too excited about this figure. I know like Leal too. It's just, man,
I did it because like I said,
figure.
I'm not wasting time on it. And for me is I'd rather secure it and not have to worry about it in the end. But at the same time, it's who I'll go through to get it. You know what I mean? Sure. And that's where I sit, I was just looking around at everybody, looking at, and the thing is, it's like I had to kind of do a revamp, just go around and look at, what we got from, just look at all the reviews and, people's reviews on, certain companies and stuff like that. And yeah, man, I think it's definitely worth it for me, man. It's just to go ahead and do it.
I will say this, typically one of the things I always recommend is if you're limited on budget, which I think, based on what I'm seeing, most people can get like 10 figures or so a year.
Yeah, right.
Then this is one of those characters that you can definitely be aggressive with because we're going to see a ton of Mandos, a ton of, we're going to see another heavy Mando. We're going to see a bunch of these, but they're not going to make a Bane every 2 years. They're not going to make him every 3 years because he's done, so characters that are quote unquote done, you can be aggressive. So that's kind of what I'm like, I do want to pre-order him because it's typically what I would do. I would be aggressive on characters that are done essentially, and this would be one. The Batman Forevers would be one. Wen Wu would be one. So this is one of those that's like, yeah, this is done, and it's really tempted me.
What's dope about it is that you don't. I mean, necessarily, there's no retooling after this. There's no retooling that they have to do with the head sculpt at all because I mean, like, literally,
it's done. Yeah.
If this is what you're giving us, like, it's covered. You don't. I mean, if you get that wrong, then there's a problem. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah.
But they nailed the eyes. The eyes of Tom Hardy, they absolutely got.
Yeah, they killed it, bro. Versus like, because I saw the head sculpt of this one versus because I didn't actually get the other version. But I look,
the
but
original.
somebody had a picture of both versions, and when you look at it, it's like, wow, like that's a major difference, man.
Can you pull up Collector's Chris
Yeah.
comment? Because I know he said like INArt. So the thing, and Collector Chris, that's actually something that me and Will were talking about. Was like, yeah, if INArt does it, it's gonna be like 480, 500, because a custom leather is like 300 or 400, right? So this would be more expensive. The problem is that INArt isn't even done with their phase 1 figures. So they need to announce phase 2. So that could be a year from now, 2 years from now. You just don't know. And you don't know what's going to be on phase 2 at that moment. So that's the problem. The only thing here is like J&D comes in and they come in with Bane as their first figure. That would be the only problem. I don't see INArt as a problem right now because it will be too late. I would already have a Bane in my hands and I'd be like, well, if my Bane cost me 300 and theirs is 500, I'm like, or more, right? I'm like, well, I would just stick with Hot Toys and get like a custom leather or something at that piece, or just, wait until it peels,
And the thing is, that just like when they released the Nightmare Batman, there was a third party company that released the jacket, you know what I mean? And it was spot on. You know what I mean? So I bet you they're going to probably do something.
And then it's cheaper. Yeah. And then you're done. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like the only thing that could ruin this, and then when I mean ruin, it's like be competitive, is J&D. INArt is not even going to be competitive for this because it'll be too late. By that time we would already have a Bane in our hands. We would already have paid for it. It would just be too done. It'll be too late because unless they add them to phase 1, but I doubt they're going to do that. Well, J&D would be the only competition.
The thing that I would say here,
and if J&D does it, I'm. The thing is, I'm just telling you now, I'm not buying from J&D. I'm just saying that now because I don't buy.
But we don't know their price point though.
But I know their price point for statues, and I've never bought one. You know what I mean? So again, we don't know the price point yet. But at the same time, even J&D, they can be a hit or miss too.
100%.
So it's just waiting.
Brand new body, like you wouldn't even know. Like the only way if J&D was to announce something, I would say if they partner with someone like is it called TB League, right? Is that
TB League? Yeah,
TB League. Then I would be like, okay, but if they were to be like, yeah, we designed a brand new body, I'm like, fuck no, because you guys can barely even do your third skills right sometimes. So pass.
And am I right by saying that majority of the Hot Toys artists that we knew about jump shipping with the J&D as well?
They did.
Like some of them did.
Some of them, like I think the guy who made Yondu is with J&D, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't it Kojin? Kojin's he's the owner or whatever.
He's with them.
Yeah, but I would say, I mean, the one thing, like to piggyback on what Carlos and Lael said before Dean hops in here, is like if you're waiting on INArt per se, that's probably going to take at best 3 to 4 years. I mean, you're probably not getting a Bane for 3 to 4 years, because John mentioned, I think on Riley's show, where he was like, I'm trying to convince them to do a Bane, so they're not even like set on Bane yet. So that, and they probably are going to do one, and like Carlos said, J&D is probably going to do one too, but this one's $300 and it's pretty fucking good.
It's
decent,
it's
bro. Like, and it's like, and those companies have to figure out how to do seamless bodies. Hot Toys already kind of knows who to partner with and what to do, and they nailed this one. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like Ryu from Iconic is probably one of the best figures I have, and they partner with TB League, right? So I'm like, okay, that's why I trusted it. So if J&D comes in with something like that,
and plus they're doing that I can't wait till they let me know about Ali, man.
Yeah, I don't think I still got to pick that up later.
But that's my point, right? Like now that's like quality. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. But this is very tempting for me.
Yeah, me too. I'm probably going to pre-order it. But anyway, so Dean, I want to let you hop in, bro. Sorry for the delay on that one. I want to hear your thoughts here. Well, how much credit do you think Hot Toys deserves for this Bane here? I can't wait to hear this. Go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, I don't dislike it. I mean, it's a 2.0. It's better than the original one. That's cool to see. But it's a figure we've already gotten. So, like, I'm so sick of Hot Toys coming out with the same shit over and over again. It's like, I want to see some new stuff. But I guess there really isn't new stuff to come out with. I don't know. I don't know what the alternative would be. Like, I'm, like, giving
Avatar?
Benefit of the doubt. Yeah, well, they showed
they did the two main
Avatar
characters. So
yeah, it's cool. Like, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I'm also not a fan of these movies, so it's hard for me to get excited about it. But credit where credit is due, it looks infinitely better than the 1.0 version. I mean, night and day different.
I'm gonna
figure.
pre-order this.
It looks really good.
Me too. See, Carlos, I'm glad you came around, bro.
That's crazy to hear Carlos say he's gonna pre-order.
It's hot. This is the thing is, it's like, because when I look at it, bro, I look at this figure because we're looking at how they're going down the line right now. And if you known that we were going to get Selena Kyle, we saw that and we knew that we were going to get this soon. You know what I mean? Like, they're going down that particular line in releasing. I'm just glad that it was retooled, and that gives me hope for Selena. I'm hoping now. Again, it's a hope. I'm not saying that that's what they're going to do. I'm just saying it's a hope that they could possibly do something, with that too. I mean, I don't know if we're going to talk about the Wonder Woman figure later on, but that one, silicone, how they actually did that body was decent. The paint apps, I mean, at least it matches. It's the polar opposite for what we've gotten from the Justice League and BVS. So again, better. But yeah, this, it's. I mean, look at that, bro. Like, looking at the body, but comparing it between both, I'm like, damn, really, y'all did that, Hot Toys? Like, why the fuck? But yeah, it looks good.
I mean, honestly, and this is one of my favorite characters. Sorry, Dean, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, even screenshots like from the movie side by side, this body is so much better. Because some people were saying it's too bulky.
I saw that, and I was like, no.
What are you talking about? They pretty much nailed it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're never gonna. No one's ever gonna be like fully happy. That's part of the
because I
community.
still hate it.
Yeah.
Right. That's any community. It just is.
Yeah.
But
No,
I would
just
say
community.
well, I think it goes with Star Wars, Game of Thrones, anything Last of Us. But I will say, like, as far as this figure goes, I mean, look at that. Like we talked about, like the scar textures, right? That part in the upper right here, like that is, and look on the head. That is beautiful. That is so accurate.
Here's
to
a
the film.
question though.
Yeah.
How is this gonna affect Drax? Can it be done because he has tattoos?
Well, Drax has the tattoos, so I'm not sure. I think that's more in depth than this is. Like, for example, I mean, Gore is not on Bane's level.
Maybe
or
that's
the
why
God
we
Butcher.
haven't gotten one until.
Right.
I mean, even now, there's.
Well,
It's going to be
Drax-
costly. That's going to be
Drax
costly.
also has
bro.
the suit on in the third film, at least for a decent point of the film. So they might just make that. They might make him in the team suit, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's
That's going
what
to be
I'm
interesting to see. Like, if they keep with the actual, excuse me, team suit, then all they have to worry about is just the arms. I mean, the thing is, I just want the bulk. If they give us the bulk, if they make it more accurate to the figure, because I'm saying, if you see something like that, then there's no excuse to go backwards. You know what I mean? If you're producing something like this, then to go backwards, you're only setting yourself up. You know what I mean? Because then people are always going to compare to this, be like, well, you did this with Bane. How come you can't do? You know what I mean? It becomes that type of discussion. So,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we want to move on from this one because we've got a lot
I
of
just
topics
pre-ordered
here.
him.
Where'd you get it from?
Kit.
Nice. Yeah, I got to message Kit and be like, dude, how quick? Because I don't know how quick Kit gets them. I think he gets them pretty quick for Hot Toys, but I'm not exactly sure. So I assume since he's overseas, he gets them pretty quick, but I'm not sure how quick exactly. Because I've bought a bunch of third-party stuff from him, but I've never bought Hot Toys from him. So and I bought INArt from him and stuff, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on Bane. I'm really excited about that one. I'm going to pre-order it sometime soon too. That said, we got a couple super chats we got to address. So thank you so much, Rockaman Chris. Appreciate you, bro. I blame INArt for this innovation. I love when a new company calls out an establishment that has become complacent. Direct competition is in the benefit of the consumer. What do you guys think about this? Because I think we're seeing that. I think we're seeing the benefits that are being reaped by us. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's true, bro. I really, really do, because
Yeah.
you almost have to say that's the thing. INArt beat him out with Joker. So it's like, all right, let's just one up you when it comes to Bane.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, just do that. You know what I mean? Because, but again, like, I mean, it to me, I try to look at it as, between companies itself, is competition well worth, it's worth it. You know what I mean? Because again, when we see that back and forth, that means that we win because we're getting better quality. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I just, I fully support that sentiment, man. Like, I do believe that, it is pushing that needle forward. That means that both companies have to deliver. You know what I mean? They have to give us something that's on point. So
yeah, I agree, bro. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Chris. I believe it, man. I think we're getting some great competition out there right now. So I think it'll lead to really great things. We got McCoy Culture, Josh McCoy. Thanks so much, Josh. He said officially in the 1/6 game with Sam Wilson Cap. What a first figure purchase, dude. That's amazing. So
Damn.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. I hope you got the space for that one. Well, he's a statue collector too, so I'm sure he does. But that one is beautiful. But you got the wings, so you
Dude.
gotta factor that in.
That
The
fucking
wings,
figure, man.
Yeah, you can put it in, bro. You can actually fit that in a DTOF.
Yeah, I saw Kiko did it. He put the wings a little bit in
Yeah,
a little bit, and I saw he
bro.
fit it in a DTOF. Yeah,
Which is interesting because they did such a good job with the Wonder Woman didn't do a good job.
Yeah, fuckers. I don't know why they didn't
Layout's
do
just
it,
like fuck this,
bro. Because it makes absolutely no sense why. I mean, the only thing I can equate to that is probably paint apps because it's gold, maybe the chips. But damn, like you can. That was an innovation, bro. Like it was
Yeah, right.
definitely innovation. Like they killed it with that figure, bro. I can't.
Yeah, absolutely. Bro. Which we're gonna get to.
Day.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to that next. But thank you so much, Josh. And then we got one more super chat from Jason Himroy. Thank you so much, Jason. Thoughts on the Mars Toys recent DC offerings? I saw the Joker they put up. What other
Riddler
ones?
for Batman.
Riddler. Oh yeah, the
Riddler,
Riddler
yeah.
for Jim Carrey, right? And they put up a was it Two-Face, Tommy Lee Jones?
I didn't
I
see
saw
that one.
I
Yet.
saw they're
What the
gonna make
fuck, they
that
did?
though. I think they're gonna make that. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think they're gonna make it. Someone posted like a tease of it or something. I don't know if it's been put up, but it's
Yeah,
they're
bro.
gonna make
That's
it.
gonna fuck me.
Yeah, but you guys are all excited about those. They're not for me, but I know a lot of people are excited about them.
I know the Joker that I got is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, the 89, that's incredible. So it's just only thing about that though is the ankle joints are really, really loose in that piece.
Oh,
But other
are
than
they?
that,
Okay.
Yeah, everything else is cool.
So the body must be kind of like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
It's
But
decent.
excited for you guys on that one. Thanks so much, Jason. But yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a good release. Mars Toys seems to be doing some good stuff. That said, we got to address something really exciting here. Could this be the iconic look for the new Captain America? And I want to bring this up because you never know. So, Leia, I'll start with you again on this one. So, the reason I bring this up is because sometimes we're always like, well, this character is going to be around for a while. He's going to be in, he's got his own film coming. Maybe there's another season of the show, maybe not. He's going to appear in other things, Avengers and other movies, right? So there's going to be other Captain Americas that are made of Sam Wilson Cap. However, sometimes the first one is the iconic one. It's the best one. And I'm wondering, Leia, if that could be the case here. It's hard to project the future. However, this is a really nice figure and a really nice outfit and a really nice head sculpt. And they absolutely killed it all the way around. And I know, Leia, you're super excited about this one. Do you think this could be the iconic look for this Captain America here?
All right. So, bro,
'Cause
like
you know the comics really well. You know the comics, so
and the thing is, like I said, I got an Alex Ross print, you know, of this particular figure, and Alex Ross killed it, like literally, and it looks like it's right off of that print. That's how iconic the suit is. This is the closest to me, the closest to comic book accuracy is this particular suit, and I love it. I mean, again, like here's the thing: when we first saw this figure, bro, we saw that head sculpt. We were like, oh, I hope they get it right. Bro, they nailed it. Like they literally, because this is Anthony Mackie, you can actually see him. You know what I mean? I love everything about it. The articulation of the wings, like they promised us, they delivered. They delivered and then some. To me, and I'm just saying to me, and this is not going to be for everybody else. To me, because this is like one of my highly most anticipated of the year. It has already made my figure of the year list for me.
nice.
Just for me, because I love this piece, bro. The thing is the articulation, and here's the thing. It's funny because a lot of people were shitting on that Bucky, but I bet you any amount of money, there's a lot of people probably after they saw this, they went out and see if they can get one for a deal or something like that. But your deal is not going to be nowhere close to mine. I got this motherfucker for $45. Shit.
Yeah, no, you're not getting that type of
You
deal.
ain't getting that deal. So definitely, but no, bro, they nailed it. Here's the only, and look at that, bro, right? The only thing that I can say is a downside to this is the simple fact that they didn't give us a base, something like this. If they would have gave us like a base, I mean, it definitely takes it over the top. But regardless, it is still, for me, figure of the year. This piece is amazing, brother. The wings alone with the articulation, like, fuck, bro. When you go, like, there's a couple of photos, like if you go forward, if there's an aerial pose with him flying, like the dive, not that one, but
Oh,
there's
the
another
dive.
one
Okay, yeah.
with the actual dive. That one right
This
there,
one, yeah.
bro. That's iconic because it's in the books. Like that is an iconic pose. Like that one right there, the dive is an iconic pose. They nailed this, bro. It is such an amazing figure. Again, when Hot Toys is on and when they put on, they put the fuck on. And with this, They did so. I mean, it was genius, bro. I thought originally that the shield itself was going to be magnetic. It wasn't, but it has a clamp. Doesn't matter. It's still a decent figure to have in collection. And the thing is, it's like, at first I was like, all right, I'm gonna have the wings on, but I know I'm gonna pose it without that wing. Fuck that. I'm never taking those wings off, bro. It looks incredible. Knowing that you can place this figure anywhere and it's gonna look good. Here's the thing: we are gonna get an updated suit. I know that, but for the time being, this is definitive. This right here is the definitive suit. This is one. And you know what's dope too, bro? Is that in the books, even Cap Steve Rogers is back. You can still have both versions. You can have this, and you can even if you actually had this particular version of Cap, you can even pose that version next to the 2012 Cap. Color-wise, it would look incredible. Like literally, it would. But I mean, and still, like for what we're getting with this figure, the posing, the articulation, I've seen so many different videos. Bro, it's incredible. I'm so happy with this, man. It should arrive sometime this week, but it's incredible, bro. I love it.
Dude, layout it's super nice, man. Like it's such a well done figure, and I'm happy for you because look at even the landing pose like that. Damn,
Yeah.
that is super dope, man.
They killed
Putting
it,
him
bro.
on the ground
Stop
like that.
showing it, please.
Yeah, I know, right? It's such a beautiful, well done figure, and the head sculpt, it's covered by goggles, but they nailed it nonetheless.
Yeah, it's Anthony Mackie. You can see him, bro.
That's Anthony Mackie through and through, bro. Look at that. Like that's Anthony Mackie.
That's him.
They absolutely killed it.
Dude.
So I'm glad, Leo, this one, they came through for you on this one because I know a lot of people are super excited about this one. And hey, this is even tempting to me, but I gotta have more time with this Captain America. I feel like I really liked him in the show, but I need to spend a little more time with him to get connected because you got to dedicate a lot of space for this one with the wings. Because if you're gonna get it, I feel like you can't not display him with the wings. Like if you can't like you can set him up, but if you don't have the wings on him, it's kind of like. I don't know.
See, this is the thing is, I can use him. I can have him with the wings. I can take the pictures. I can pose it up and do the videos and stuff like that. That's fine. If knowing that I can fit this motherfucker in my detail,
exactly.
I'm telling you, bro. Like that just takes it over the top. What's up, bro?
So we have him. Like in the comics, does Falcon, Captain America ever go against Vulture? Because could we see a cross in? In Secret Wars.
I mean, it's here's the thing. Anything can be shown in Secret Wars. We don't, but at the Vulture, I don't know if they're going to include that character since it's now they've made that transition from that character to Sony. I don't know. We just I don't know.
That'd be pretty cool, like both of them in the air. You know,
it would be. It would definitely be a cool piece. Cool aesthetically, it would look really, really good. To have something like that would definitely be great. But again, it's just like it depends on because you had Secret Wars 1 and 2, so it depends on which one they're going to actually go through. You know what I mean? Because we had different versions of Secret Wars. So, but look at that right there, bro. Like that looks it's just fucking phenomenal, bro. Like that's literally phenomenal, man.
It's so well done, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Anthony Mackie was happy as fuck. He probably saw that. Was like, yeah, y'all better get me right.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Yeah,
this is really well done. This is really well done. So Carlos, fill us in on your thoughts, bro. Is this going to be the definitive though? Because that's the question. I think Leo's answer is yes for now. Like it's the definitive Anthony Mackie Cap. But I'm wondering if moving forward, if this is going to be one that people can afford to pass on because it's kind of like maybe I always come back to Loki, Avengers Loki. He was the definitive Loki for a long time, even though people were like, "There's going to be other ones." And all the people who passed on Hawk, Avengers, and Age of Ultron Hawk, they probably were pretty upset too because they passed. Right? This could be the one. What do you think?
So first, let me say that Riley texted me and said, "Damn, you're gushing over this figure. Stop sounding like a little bitch." So yes, this
sounds
true.
Just like Riley, bro.
No, I have a message. So okay, I didn't really like the show. Okay, I wasn't the biggest fan of Falcon, and I think what they've done with Winter Soldier, they made him look like a little bitch. With that said, this figure, it's a perfect example of figure versus character. Where I don't really care for the character. I never really have. But the fucking figure is making me like the character. Because this figure, and typically like, you know, if like Leo will say, oh, like figure of the year, I could be like, well, I disagree. This one, it's really hard to be like, yeah, I can't really disagree with that one because this one is the shit. Okay, like this one is amazing. Like I have been, even when my mod's talking about like, I really want this. Like, look at this shit. Like, man, I really want this. I think this is great. The head sculpt is like a 9. I can't give it more than a 9 because it has goggles but it's fucking there. Definitive, that's hard, right? Because perfect examples, as you said, like the Groot, right? Guardians of the Galaxy. Like all the Groots after the first one aren't as good, right? But like Star-Lord, that second Star-Lord, in my opinion, is the best Star-Lord. Sometimes the first one is the best one. And this could be the case with this one. I just don't know. If you love the character, hey man, this is gonna be perfect. I'm still really undecided. I'm hoping that maybe when Secret Wars comes out or his Captain America movie comes out, maybe he's gonna have a different outfit, or maybe he's gonna have the first. But look at something like this, man. That looks awesome. So that's the only downside. It's like we just don't know if this is gonna be the definitive one. So
if you had to predict though, what do you say? Definitive or not?
I will say no. I will say no because I think he's going to be a crucial part to the MCU moving forward. So they're going to have him in the Avengers, obviously, Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars, and he's going to have his own Captain America movie. That's 3 different movies that I think his suit's going to change.
It's definitely going to change. It's going to be modified slightly. I mean, even the interpretation in the books, they have been modified, several different times. But it also depends on the artist. Their interpretation is going to always, be different. So
if Captain America, I guess this is the first one for him, technically the 4th, I guess. And if he comes out with the new suit and that movie's just like badass, I'm going to want to collect that suit. You know what I mean? As opposed to this one. But then I don't know, man. If I had to predict, I'm gonna say no, but it excites me for the future for Hot Toys because this figure, man, like makes me want to buy it. Like every time I see this fucking thing, it makes me like that's how good of a figure this is. So like when Layout said this figure of the year, I almost can't disagree with this motherfucker because it's really good.
It's really good. It's January, bro, and they absolutely fucking set the bar pretty high.
And I know that there's other figures that are dropping, but I said the same thing about Miles. Regardless of everything else that came out, Miles was still the figure of last year for me. You know what I mean? And this, from what I'm seeing, even in seeing, like, we're just seeing these, and I saw other people. I saw Jeddah. I saw everybody else who had this figure in hand. And I saw Kiko, and I'm like, yeah, I can't deny this motherfucker is just, it is incredible, bro. It is an incredible piece of art that they've done, and I can't deny it, bro.
Bro, I mean, Hot Toys is absolutely stepping their game up, man. They are, and we got to give them credit where credit is due because they knocked this one out of the park. So absolutely, bro. Well, Dean the Dream. Fill us in, Dean the Dream, on your thoughts, bro, about Captain America. Let us know, dude. What do you think? Is this the definitive cap for Sam Wilson? What's your prediction?
I think it's definitive cap for now.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you go back and look at all Steve Rogers outfits in the MCU, starting with the stealth suit in the second movie with the silver and blue, all the suits moving forward are basically exactly the same, save for some color variation, like white on the sleeve, red on the abdomen, silver on the pants, whatever. But it's like the same suit. They just color it differently. I think we're going to see that with this outfit. I just think they're tired of making new suits and they just color it a little bit. And this looks good. It looks really, really good. So it's like, why, don't fix it if it ain't broke, Like, put some more blue on the sleeve, put some more red stripes on the pants. But this is a good looking suit. It's a good looking cap. It's a great looking figure. I can't wait to see more of him in the movies. I really didn't like the show. It was kind of cheesy, but I really like Sam Wilson. Not a huge Steve Rogers fan anyway. So
I know. That's your hot take. Yeah.
Yeah. I was really happy when Sam Wilson took over. So, yeah, I think this is insanely cool. And I think for now, this will be the one to have. Until, because, in Endgame, when they finally put the scales on the cap suit, that's like the suit to have, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But for years, it was like Civil War was the Captain America to have.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the one to get. It's like, well,
Yeah.
the Avengers Ultron one's the exact same suit. It just has white on the sleeve. It's like, no. Civil War,
Yeah.
that's the one that gets.
It's also based on the movie though.
Yeah, true.
Like
It
what
is.
he does in the movie with that suit.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like all the
Yeah.
Iron Mans look somewhat the same, but some,
Right, like the Age of Ultron suit, not as cool as the Civil War suit.
Right.
Same
and then
thing.
Mark 47 is the same one, but it's just gray.
Well,
I
well,
was-
that's a really
fucking ran out of ink.
by both
You
of
know
you
what I mean?
guys because it's like with this Captain America, he does some cool shit in this show, but could he do cooler shit? In
Oh,
Avengers?
he's gonna do way.
You know what I
cooler
mean?
shit.
And that's kind of
Yeah.
what I'm wondering because I'm
Gonna
starting
fly
to
with
think
his
this
dick
might be
out.
the definitive because this is such
Dude.
an important moment for this character. This is like
Yeah.
him becoming Captain America, and I think
Yeah.
that's why it could be the definitive one for him because
Yeah.
it's like the show. While it's the show, I think most people thought it was pretty good. Not everyone loved it.
I
right?
love the show.
But,
I,
yeah, I
I
thought it was
just
pretty
loved
good.
it because Bucky's arc, and I know a lot of people didn't like where they took Bucky, but his
ass.
arc was almost damn near similar to what it was in the books. Of
Gotcha.
him, it's his redemption story of his regrets, and his regrets is what tamed him. Now he's over that, so the next iteration that you're going to see is going to be far different. You know what I mean? Because he's made peace with things that he actually went through. Same as Sam Wilson, coming to terms with the simple fact that, okay, he has to step up to the plate to become the next Cap, and this was entrusted to him by Steve Rogers. But at the same time, accepting the simple fact that because of the color of his skin, he's not going to be, really properly welcomed. And I think the ending of it, that speech that was made, and on top of that, what he did, in the end, I thought it was incredible. I mean, I like the show. I like the innovation. I actually got this book. It's the artists, those who have, designed the costumes. It's behind. I think it's called Behind Design. It's basically everybody from the MCU or artists who participated in developing the costumes and stuff like that for the MCU. And what they talked about is when Kevin Feige and the production team came to him, they were like, okay, this is the beginning. But by the time you get to the end, we want to see that. So it's the suit that we got for Cap at the very end was with the scales, because they knew they were working to that point. They just wanted to see a developing point. How do we get to that point? The end game was basically how did they get there? Even with Iron Man, the Mark 85, if you look at the color scheme, it's more accurate to Tony's first suit in the comics as far as the color scheme. It was getting from point A to there. They wanted to actually see the evolution of getting to that point, and that's the direction that they were given. So some of the suits that we saw earlier on, we were like, okay, all right, it's not as accurate, but they were getting to that point because they knew the journey that they didn't want to take those characters on. So with this particular character, it's like, okay, this to start, I'm like, damn, if you're starting with this, I can't wait to see what you do.
He's gonna
next.
die.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's gonna be incredible.
Yeah. Well, Carlos,
But-
what do you want to say?
To that point, it's like Winter Soldier, right? Because I know Leo just brought him up. The first one, that first figure, great. And then every figure or time he came out, he was like a bigger bitch and a bigger bitch. And then it got worse and worse, right? Now it's like, no, dude, nobody even wants him. The only one that people want is that original one, which we all hoped there was going to be a reissue from the show, but it never happened, which is really unfortunate. Falcon has been one of those where he started with the military suit, then he got his Falcon, outfit. Like every time a figure comes out, he's just getting better, better, and better. And like the third time, it's like at its peak. On like the Hulk, where like now the fourth one is like shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I wonder if that could happen with him, because the third one was like the Gladiator and now the Smart Hulk or whatever. So hopefully it doesn't happen to him. But yeah, this is gonna be if I can find this at a good deal, maybe I'll get it. Good, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. I mean, it's a really dope looking figure. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
And I think it might be the definitive look just because I think of what it means for the character and how he literally became Captain America in this show. So, but I guess we'll see. That he's got a lot of highlight moments and highlight reels to come, I think, in the MCU. He's going to be hugely important. So I think I'm excited to see where they
And then,
take him.
you know what? It's crazy because a lot of people talk about, and I hear this a lot. And it's obviously that you hear it, and I'm like, all right, cool, that's completely understand. I respect their opinion. Well, he doesn't have a super soldier serum. He's not Cap. He doesn't have. Well, even Cap with the super soldier serum couldn't beat Thanos. Even Cap would basically he was getting his manhandled by even Bucky himself, who also had the super soldier serum. He was getting manhandled by other people. So I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just how good you are of a fighter, how trained you are. Again, He has the skills. If obviously Steve Rogers thought that, Sam was suitable for it, of course we couldn't give it
He was old. He was
Bucky.
in denial.
You know what I mean? Well, nah. I think he just basically did it because he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew that he was formidable. You can't give it to somebody like Bucky because at the time he was unstable. And on top of that, because of everything that he's done, he wouldn't be welcome. He has to atone to a lot. The only reason why in the books he took up the shield is because Tony made him take the shield after Cap was killed off for a little bit. But other than that, I mean, I just think that Sam is suitable. And it doesn't matter if he doesn't actually have the super soldier serum. I think there's other things than just punches and powers, to be quite honest. It's how intelligent you are, and what you can do if you're like a field general, and like for instance, we talk about Nick Fury. He's a general. This motherfucker doesn't do shit. All he does is tell people what to do, and normally it always works. You know what I mean? So it's the thing is, it doesn't really boil down to that. It's how intelligent you are. You can be the strongest person in the world and still fuck up. You feel me? So
yeah. But I mean, if Cap got his ass whooped by Thanos, so he would have gotten killed.
What you say?
Like if Cap got his ass kicked by Thanos, or he got whooped, and he has a super serum, so wouldn't he get killed because he doesn't have it? This one, Falcon.
But Falcon picks his lane. He knows physically he's not going to be able to go.
Yeah, that's my point.
At a distance, strategically, he knows exactly what to do from a distance. You got to pick your spots. You know what I mean? Cap charged in. I mean,
that's why he was like in the air, fighting.
But even like I said, he's formidable beyond just, up in the air fighting. He's really intelligent. We saw what he can actually do in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He was skilled. He's a skilled fighter. You know what I mean? So we see these things. It's not just about punches and powers and how strong you are. You know what I mean? If that was the case, we'd have seen more Hulk.
That's true.
Yeah. And I think also it's a matter of pretty much no one's going head to head with Thanos like that. I mean, it's like, Wanda could maybe, and then maybe Captain Marvel to a degree, but even
Iron Man
Thanos
did for a little bit.
Yeah, briefly, but he didn't last very long. So
that's the longest.
Yeah, probably. But because even Captain Marvel, as strong as she is, like Thanos just eventually tossed her around. So
But even like you say,
Power Stone.
Yeah, but Thanos is smarter than her.
That's but like for instance, when we got a chance to see, a lot of people didn't like. And here's the thing: it's unpopular opinion, but a lot of people didn't like Iron Man 3. I did, and the reason why is because you got a chance to see what Tony can do without the suit and how intelligent he is. Right. You know what I mean? Things that he can come up. He was MacGyver as fuck in that film. You know what I mean? And he pulled it off without the suit. You know what I mean? So it's at the person's most vulnerable point. What can they do under pressure? And I think that's why it was a smart decision. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that totally makes sense. Well, guys, I want to ask you a question as we transition. Something still figure related, but INArt gave a little bit of a tease here. So they showed a new release that they're going to be working on that should be coming next, supposedly, at least from my understanding. They're about to go on Chinese New Year, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. But there's a comment actually right here from Adam Pagels, who I want to give credit for. So they teased this figure, and a lot of us were like, well, what is that? We don't know what that is, right?
Like chocolate.
Yeah, I thought it could have been Kit Kats or whatever, but I thought it was like for a second I thought it was something from Dune. I thought it was maybe the KG Chalamet figure that we were going to get, but it's actually apparently from a Chinese Odyssey 1995 film called A Chinese Odyssey, but it's the character's name is Joker. So the question I want to ask...
Another Joker?
The wrong Joker, bro.
It's another Joker, exactly. So their first two releases... not really. The first... one of their new figures is also called Joker, apparently. I've never heard of this film before because, maybe it's because it's maybe a Chinese film or something. I'm not sure exactly. But the question I want to ask is, do we care that it's probably not for us? It's kind of like... Remember the Hot Toys figures that came out that put up somewhat recently? There was like Johnson and something, but they look dope as hell. So I was happy for people that this was going to happen. And then I did see a lot of like pushback a little bit. I guess maybe from the more Western crowd like us, that were kind of like, well, why is this not Daenerys or Legolas or whatever? And like, I get that, but at the end of the day, maybe they're trying to appeal to their own market a little bit. And I personally kind of like that they're doing they're appealing to a lot of different people. Like they're appealing to us in the West, and then also for people overseas who maybe love this film. They must have done it for a reason. So I wanted to ask you guys: do we care that it's probably not for us?
We get caught in our own bubble, bro. Like straight up, like we get caught in this bubble that just like everybody who makes it for just the United States, and we don't. We're not thinking about like there's a lot of things that. A lot of IPs over there that are extremely popular, to them. Of course, you're going to want to please your own market. Like, I mean, Sideshow does it. Any other company, like you want to please your market because, again, these are the people over there. They're going to actually help you stay afloat as well. They're buying your shit, so you want to actually have them in your corner. So I'm happy that they're going to do something. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm happy for them to, again, do something for their own market. It just makes so much sense to me. Like, I don't see a problem with that at all.
I don't either, bro. There was something for their own market. Yeah, I'd love to see Legolas and Daenerys, but we can be patient. So, it's going to happen. And, that's, I'm happy that other people are getting something too. But Carlos, what do you think about this? Do you care at all that it's not really for us?
I do, because in the sense of, were they because this wasn't in the phase 1 list, right? They just
I don't think so, no. But maybe it was like a separate type of release. I don't know.
Maybe. So that's the only thing I care about, because if they still are talking about phase 1, and does that mean that they can now add characters whenever they want? Because we've talked about like Mira, and they said, well, people in China, they don't know what happened in the US about the court, the whole court thing with Johnny Depp. So we're still going to make Mira because for our market, and certain characters for our market, which is fine. That's why, they're chasing like Terminator. But this is one of those things where, hey, it's cool if you're making it for them. I guess my question is more like, does this mean that they can just introduce now any character into phase 1? Because if that's the case, because I had no idea about this, does that mean like they can introduce Bane and just be like, next week, like, hey guys, we're making Bane in phase 1?
That would be hilarious, actually,
right? Because that's the only reason why I'm like what the fuck is this, right? Because I thought you guys had a plan, and now you're deviating from the plan, which is great, it's your market. But does that mean that for us, like, does that mean like we can expect them to just add shit? Because those were the questions that we asked John, like, what about Mira? What about Black Adam? Are you still making them? And they're like, yeah, we're still going to make them because that's our plan. But then this wasn't part of that. So that's the only reason I would say like I care, just to know like what can I expect from them, because they gave us a list of what they're going to release.
And it says the next character to the stage. This sounds a lot to me like this is the next one being put up for pre-order.
Right. That's the only reason I'm like hesitant about it.
So, right. And I do understand where you're coming from, Carlos, because this was not on the phase 1 list from my recollection.
Right.
So,
that's the only.
What if there was, okay, so if it's, okay, the phase 1 list, I understand that, but what if it was what if they deviated, if there wasn't really a deviation? What if there were 2 lists, just ones that we didn't see because we're not going to get this
non-US releases,
non-US releases, maybe. You know what I mean? So that could be one of the things that were already, it was planned, it was something that was there for them, because again, it's just that they have to please that market, but they want to give us a taste because again, westernized, they want to give us a taste of what's to come. So we're, prepared for it. So it could have been something that they had on a slate. Sure. Maybe they have certain items that aren't on that list that they know personally they want to release for just that market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be. So you never know.
Yeah.
That's true. They could have like a hidden list we had no idea about.
Yeah. What do you think, Dean? Do you care at all that this probably isn't for us? That INArt's just kind of throwing this one in there, maybe for a different audience?
Oh, dude, I'm so stoked about it. So
do you love this film or something?
No, nobody was gonna want to talk about it. I love not talking about INArt. It's like my favorite fucking thing. Yeah, Carlos brings up a good point. That this was nowhere in the list that they showed. And are they going to just start adding shit whenever they want? Which I guess, it's their prerogative. But that also means that if they are trying to stick to a time schedule, I don't see how they're going to keep to it if they're just going to add stuff whenever they want. But
someone did point out, actually, really quick, that there is no U.S. market since they aren't licensed in the U.S. So technically, all these were not for the U.S.
Yeah, but I think what we're saying is these figures are made for the Western market.
Right.
That's what we're saying. Whether they're licensed here or not, INArt knows that.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, 100%.
Like Legolas, I'm sure is popular maybe in other countries, but he's damn sure more popular here than he is there. So, I would assume so. Joker might be popular everywhere, I'm sure, because everyone keeps making him. But I would say that there are a lot of people in the West that I think are very excited to buy these figures. Maybe there are over there too, but I would assume so. But what do you think, Dean? I mean, like, does this matter to you at all?
No, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, of course not. I mean, Hot Toys just did it with Warriors of Future. And I was like, you know what? That's clearly not a thing for the Western market, but that movie is on Netflix. Let me check it out. Maybe it's cool.
Yeah.
Turns out it's not. It's a terrible movie.
Didn't expect that one, Dean.
But Hot Toys didn't release a list though.
Yeah, they didn't.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. And they kind of just do whatever the hell they want, whenever they want. But yeah, I think it's, it's just a drop in the bucket. They got other shit coming, and we'll talk about that. And just one's just not.
Has since Hot Toys released that picture that has all these figures like the Wonder Woman, the DeLorean, all these figures. Have they released anything that wasn't on that list? Not announced, but released. So any release is anything that's on that list.
Yeah, I think they pretty much always stick to the list when they do that. For my recollection.
Fucking INArt needs to do the same shit. They need to just fucking stick to the list.
Well, maybe this was a separate thing, like a non-US. They don't have a license here, but like intended for a different audience, maybe limited, something like that.
Or maybe they figured when they came out with that list, we wouldn't know what the fuck it was anyway.
Right? Yeah. We would be like, what is that?
J&D released some white beard dude, and it wasn't even promoted for the US. But they also didn't release a fucking list. You know what I mean? That's the only thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see in time. So
because
its release.
Yeah, their whole thing, INART's whole thing is keeping to the schedule.
Right.
That's sometimes the problem with oversharing. We're going to be critical over. So.
Yeah, because when we brought all those problems up about the Gandalf that it had, they were like, well, we got to stick to the schedule. Like, we can't go back and ask for approval on that. Like, it's gonna make it delayed. It's like, what, do you want to put out the best product, or do you want to keep to a schedule? And they chose the schedule. But yeah, it's like, well, if you just keep adding stuff, that might be a problem. Unless they just didn't share with us what they didn't think we would be interested in. So
yeah. Well, Mario did point out for us last year, Hot Toys released Vision when they brought out their release list, and Vision wasn't even on it. I was there. So I'll take Mario's word for it as beard.
Yeah, that actually, that's true.
So maybe
I guess Vision is equivalent to this Kit Kat figure. So that makes sense.
I'm sure it'll be a great figure nonetheless. So I'm excited for people who are going to be picking up. That said, guys, we've pretty much covered most of the news. So I want to address some topics I think that are going to be pretty important. Because what I've noticed, at least lately, I've noticed a few people in Carlos's group, A Place for Collecting, and I've seen it in some other communities too. I've seen some collectors kind of post saying their goodbyes, basically saying like, I'm out, like I've just felt burnout, like I felt like there's so much that's overwhelming me. There's so many pre-orders, there's so many options, there's delays that sometimes limit your enjoyment and fun. So I want to ask you guys, like, what would you say for those people right now, those collectors out there that are maybe feeling that a little bit, where they're feeling like, hey, like I'm starting to feel a little bit burnout. There's so many options and delays and stuff that it's like, and the space that it's involved, it's kind of, limiting my fun that I'm having with this hobby. So Leia, I wanted to ask you, I mean, what would you say to collectors like that maybe can help them stay in the game a bit longer?
Go back to why you started collecting in the first place. Literally, like what made you start? What started this journey? What was it that started the journey? You know what I mean, in general, because if you've been collecting for a long time, then it becomes a thing where you're used to this. I'm used to the delays. I'm used to right now the saturation. I've kind of got myself kind of used to it. You know what I mean? It happens. But at the same time, it's like the reason why I collect may not be the same for everyone else. You know what I mean? I collect because of art. That's why I do it. That's what got me into it. It's the sheer enjoyment. I mean, like for instance, that cap, that Sam Wilson cap is why I collect. Like literally, that Bane is why I collect. That Joker is why I collect. You know what I mean? Any Star Wars figure that I get in my collection is why I collect. It's for the excitement, the enjoyment, nostalgia, art pieces. What I can do with those figures when I have it in my collection. So again, if you get burned out, really go back to why, you got to ask yourself, well, what brought me here? What got me into it? And just, I would actually say, write a list, 2 lists, pros and cons. Why you started collecting? What about the collecting community you hate? Or what about, about this collecting journey that you hate? If one list outweighs the other, there's your answer.
Yeah, that is a really good piece of advice, Leo. Seriously, bro. That's amazing, bro. That's something that I kind of want to try, honestly, even though, like I said, I'm not feeling the burnout because I think, with the Carlos methodology of the philosophy of TBC that I think is just really great that I've used, it's really helped sort of solidify what your goals are and what your interests are. So that said, Carlos, what do you think you would say to people like this? Because I know, we've tried to offer some advice to people and stuff to get them to stay and, hang out and maybe try to at least scale back or take a break sometimes. What do you think?
Yeah. So obviously we can all handle things a little different. Some of us, like layout, we, collecting a little longer. They're used to the waiting times, and some newer or, because I've had people reach out to me as well about this. They're feeling overwhelmed, too many pre-orders, too much money. They feel like, I should just like sell everything because there's other things going on. And I think the reality is that to a lot of these collectors, they see it as like collecting is great, but they have other things going on too that they want to do. Maybe they want to, invest or, take vacations or whatever that may be. And usually that's what I'm seeing too. Or like, they just don't feel like they have enough big of a budget. So one of the things that I've been, really leaning on or really preaching for a while now, or since you and I have talked about it, well, is tier-based collecting or TBC. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, yes, definitely, like Lael mentioned, point out like why you started collecting, but also really look at tier-based collecting because, unfortunately for you, 200 figures is probably not going to do it, or 100 figures would just be too much. Because clearly, if you're getting overwhelmed, then you need to significantly be able to cut that. So maybe something like 65 figures or 70 figures might be ideal for you, or maybe even less. And that's where tier-based collecting comes in because you rank things by tiers. You have a maximum. So if you're like 50, if you're at 51, that means you need to sell one, right? Because if you're getting overwhelmed, it's because there's just too much going on and you can't keep up with it. Maybe family, finances, whatever the reason. So you need to have kind of like an end game or a maximum to keep you sane. Because that's kind of how I was, honestly. I started getting too much and I just felt overwhelmed. And once, created TBC and started coming out with the maximum, dude, I love collecting and it makes it easy to pass up on things. Like the old Carlos would have already bought this Captain America. Now I'm like, I really, really want it. But when I go back to my tier list, that's how I see it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say tier-based collecting, look that up. And that probably is going to help.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think so too. Well, Dean, I know you've been in this game a little while. I'm not sure how long, but with your experience, like what would you say to people that have been feeling a little bit burnt out lately with all the options and, news and updates and delays? What do you think?
Yeah, well, first, stop hanging on Carlos's group.
Yeah, leave a place for collecting.
Come over to Collecting Weekly Auxiliary. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Step number 1.
I can definitely relate, especially in the 6 scale hobby. It gets exhausting.
Yeah.
In fact, I think this year, I plan on buying like 3 Hot Toys. Like Bo-Katan, Chromando, and I can't, maybe Batman. I can't even think of it. Like, usually it's like, what figure am I going to buy this week? And this year I'm like, I'm just kind of over it. So I get it.
yeah.
But it kind of goes back to what Liao said. Yeah. Like, go back to what got you into collecting. And maybe specifically it's like Star Wars 3/4 inch. Start picking those up. There's a ton of figures, and you could army build for the cost of one Hot Toy. And you might rediscover a passion that you're like, damn, you know what? I don't even really like 6 scale that much. 3 3/4 inch. You could get vehicles. You could do you put them on your wall like Mario. Like you could do all kinds of stuff. And there's collectibles for every kind of thing in scales that, miniatures or, statues. You could go the opposite route, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was beautifully said by Leal. Is like kind
It
of
was.
rediscover the passion. Like, what was it exactly?
Yeah.
For me, it was. I always got the 3 3/4 in Star Wars. So, I mean, for every like 1/6 scale figure I have like a dozen other scaled figures. Like,
Yeah.
I just love all kinds of stuff. So, don't get bogged down on one scale.
Yeah, I get what you mean, and I think you guys all raised some really good points here. I think I'm with all of you, honestly. I mean, I feel like Lael said, you got to really go back to the root of why you collected in the first place, and I think that kind of ties into what Carlos was saying too about picking characters that you love that really tie into why you collected in the first place, because you really wanted a representation of that character. Like Leo, I know for you and I both, the first figure we got was Kylo Ren, and for me, the reason I got Kylo Ren and I wanted a figure of Kylo Ren is because I love Kylo Ren, and I wanted him in the first place. So if you're collecting a bunch of characters that you just think look cool that you really don't give a shit about, you're gonna start feeling overwhelmed eventually when you have all these figures that you don't give a shit about. Then the newer one comes out and you got to sell it. But if you really wanted that character, you wouldn't feel that.
Yeah, and here's the thing, bro. Like, it's like you can. I don't want to get it twisted because it's okay to take a break. Like, if you want to take a break away from the hobby, it's completely fine. You could do that, and no one's telling you that you can't. You know what I mean? But the problem is when you, like, for instance, I passed on that Aragorn. It wasn't something that I wanted.
See, there you go.
It's a beautiful piece, but I don't collect Lord of the Rings figures. I don't collect anything from Back to the Future, so I didn't need the DeLorean. It was an easy pass for me. I didn't have Marty. I don't have everything that I collect is based on the IP that I'm into, figures that I'm into, characters that I'm into. If I keep it there, then I don't get boggled down by everything else that I really don't necessarily need at all. I'm connected to the things that I love. I'm connected to the art form, and that's what keeps me here. And I have a very supportive fiance wife that keeps me going, and that's all I need. I'm good.
There you go.
Okay. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'll talk about my experience a little bit. What? So when I got into collecting, and I was, like I said, I think I've said this, I had like 250 figures. I had a shit ton of figures. Felt overwhelmed. I was telling Will, fuck this, I'm quitting. It's just so much shit. I'm done. Sold a good chunk. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do Marvel because I love Marvel. It's why I got into collecting, because I fucking love Marvel more than anything. Like, I literally have a sign that says like Jesus, coffee, and Marvel because my wife made it, right? So we both love Marvel. Watch every Marvel movie. All I did was Marvel, and guess what? I still felt overwhelmed. Taking a break, sure, it helps. The problem is that you can take a break, but you come back to the same place that you were, right? Doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. That's exactly what ends up happening, even with taking a break. Sometimes it can help. But the biggest difference for me was literally setting a maximum figure. I'll tell two quick stories. I have a friend who, small collection, right? He's like, hey, I can only have like 20 figures. He goes, I have 2 Mandos. Do you think I need both? And my question was like, because he's following TVC, his collection is 20 max. And I said, well, do you want to allocate 10% of your entire collection to Mando? He's like, well, fuck no. I was like, well, that's exactly what you're doing, right? 2 out of 20. I had another friend who had about 180. He's just feeling overwhelmed. They said, bring it down to 100. He did, but he has like 30 Iron Man. And I said, do you want 30% of your collection out of your 100 to just be Iron Man? In his mindset was like, well, no, that's a shit ton just for my collection. I would rather have other characters that I like. So then he started feeling like, oh shit, now I don't need to chase Iron Man. Now I don't need to chase all the Spider-Man, because he was doing the same thing. Now we can diversify, follow tier base, and not just get Cyborg Spider-Man because it looks cool, or I'm gonna get Cap because it's fucking figure of the year. I'm gonna apply it to TBC because I don't feel the hype. I don't feel the great figure. Because a week from now, we will stop talking about Cap. Maybe layout he won't, but we usually will. And then we will, and then things will settle down where you can move on and not have bought Captain America. You know what I mean? So I would say, if you're feeling overwhelmed, tier-based collecting, and set a max. If you have 65 figures right now, do tier base and do like 10 under. so 55, so that you can feel like you're gonna sell some, you're gonna get some cash in your pocket, and you don't have to buy anything right now. That's basically, so whatever you're at, go 10 under, and that should be like your max. And follow tier base, and I think you're gonna start feeling really relaxed and not really feel like you have to chase anything.
You know what? It's crazy, bro. Is when I think about it, it's like the moment that I feel as though I'm checked out and it's overwhelmed, you'll never know. I'll just stop.
Gotcha.
Literally, I'll just stop. I won't tell anybody. I'll just stop. I'll stop doing it. You won't probably see me as vocal in the community anymore. Well, in groups, you don't see me vocal anyway because I'm hardly in groups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't have the time as much. But again, I'll just basically stop. I'll stop doing it. But when I think about that, I'm like, yo, it's not just about the collection. It's not just about what I see every time I come downstairs. I talk about the experiences, bro. Because if I didn't start collecting, and I've been collecting for years, bro, but if I didn't jump into 1/6 scale collecting, I wouldn't have met Will. I wouldn't have met Dean. I wouldn't have met Carlos. I wouldn't have met Riley. I wouldn't have met Mario. I wouldn't have met half the people that I know in this community, everybody out in the chat that I'm familiar with and that are familiar with me. I wouldn't have a platform to speak. I wouldn't have a platform that I enjoy. We wouldn't have these conversations. So it's about the experience for me as well. It's not just about collecting. What keeps me collecting, yes, that's just a part of it. But this thing is taking me all over the world, sitting in my room, in my living room.
Yeah.
I'm actually able to talk to people over in England, people over in the Philippines, people over in China, Japan. I can talk to them from the comfort of this seat right here. I'm meeting everybody, going to different cons. I'm meeting other people who I share conversations, I have conversations with. You know, again, it's the experience. That's what keeps me here. It may not be for everybody, but just do know that if you are burned out and you do decide to take a break, you always have a place to come back to. Plain and simple.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, that's actually one of the reasons why I did create a place for collecting, our Facebook group, because there has been times people have reached out to me privately and been like, hey man, I appreciate the group, just because in other groups there's so much hate that if I post something or I say something people don't like, they go and attack me, and it really makes me dislike the community. We have to remember that not everyone, all of us here, we're somewhat introverted, but we're extroverted in the sense that we can have conversations. Not everyone can get here on the panel and have a conversation. They feel like, you know, they would feel like a fish out of water. And I feel like a lot of collectors, they're very much an introvert. And sure, I do talk to some of them and I do try to give them calls when, you know, when they ask me to, but at the end of the day, it's like, we have those, you know, those experiences. Like, again, like you said, Leo, I was able to meet Will, Dean, and you, but not everyone, you know, would feel comfortable even like reaching out. It's funny because I told the story. I was like, I'm very friendly. You know, I want people to be able to talk to me. Like, I'm a dick, but I'm always like, I never mean any of the things they say. I just say it plainly. And it's funny because someone reached out to me. He's like, hey, Carlos, like, what do you think about this sculpt or whatever? And I'll be like, oh, this is like an 8. And he goes, okay. And that's all he said. You know what I mean? So
He's like, okay.
And I was like, okay, well, what do you think? He's like, well, I think that's a 7. I was like, oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, you're gonna get it. He's like, no. And he wouldn't respond anything, like super short questions, because they just don't know how to communicate. You know what I mean? So I always try to be friendly in that sense, because not everyone is as extroverted as we are. So again, probably why I created that group to begin with. But yeah. But good points though, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. From all you guys, seriously. And
we got like 8 minutes.
We got 8 minutes before Last of Us airs. So that means we have time for one more topic, Leo. And I wanted to address something real quick. There's some low stock warnings.
Hurry up.
They show up on the Sideshow. I know. They show up on the Sideshow. Oh, this is the wrong one. Sorry. They show up on the Sideshow. I know, amateur hour over here. Sideshow website on the last chance section. So these are low stock warnings, and we have them for a few figures here. Let me remove the banner. It might just be easier for everyone. So Doctor Strange, Boba Fett Deluxe quarter scale, which was already waitlisted once, I feel like. I'm not sure. Maybe the regular version was. The Wolverine actually is on there. And then that comic War Machine is also on the low stock warning. So is there anything actionable layout here that we should be doing? Do we believe Sideshow here? Because these are about to go to waitlist, apparently. Same with the Batman and Bat Signal.
Believe them if you want, but you can still get them in other places. That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Like,
you make a good point.
I don't fall for this shit anymore, man, because it's like I can get them anywhere else. Like there's so many different places. And then on top of that, it always happens once the figure's released, then they're automatically right off the wait list. You know
It
what I mean?
shows up suddenly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
These
good.
fuckers.
Yeah. So Leo, you're not. Well, you already pre-ordered Wolverine, didn't you?
Oh, Wolverine was already done.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not a problem for me, man. I don't have a problem with that at all. You
Because
know what
I'd
I
say
mean?
that's probably the one people are probably looking at the hardest here.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
Doctor Strange is
yeah.
really good too, but that Wolverine, I know a lot of people are excited about. So maybe not as many people as we thought, though. Because if it's already on waitlist, maybe it's like a middle tier. Like it's like pretty good, but it's not like over the moon pre-orders for it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm with you, Leo. But Carlos, what do you think, man? Is this? By the way, I see Kiko in the chat. By the way, Kiko did watch Last of Us, and I'm pretty sure he enjoyed it. So I guess we're gonna find out. He's gonna be watching episode 2, so really excited about that. And his Bengals won, so congrats to the Bengals.
Bengals
Kiko's a
suck.
Bengals fan. I know they might be going to the Super Bowl, bro. I don't know.
No, they
Bengals and
suck.
Chiefs would be a good one. But Carlos, what do you think, man? Is there anything actionable here? Are we taking Sideshow seriously?
I mean, I've always said it makes sense for Hot Toys to make a shit ton. It doesn't mean the Sideshow needs to order a lot from them. So, I mean, if you love the best customer service and all that, hey, then I guess you would. But I'm going to say this, that if that figure isn't dead, then don't worry. There will be other versions. So you don't have to be aggressive. Be aggressive with Bane. I pre-order with Kit. So if you want to pre-order with Kit, go fuck with them. So aside from that, the only one here that I think it will be that you want to be aggressive will be Wolverine. But if you don't give a fuck about Wolverine, then maybe the comic version of War Machine. But if you don't like the comic books, then not really, because that Doctor Strange, there's going to be other Doctor Stranges out there. So even if you miss on this one, who gives a fuck? Go get the other ones. Unless you like fucking love Doctor Strange and his third eye, then that's cool.
This
and
is
all,
the
but-
best head sculpt, though, Carlos. to be
Yeah,
fair.
but I mean, like, they're gonna reuse this head sculpt for the other ones, just
Yeah,
like
probably,
they've done
yeah.
for the other figures. So the only one here that I would say it's like, aggressive would be Wolverine or War Machine. Aside from those two, no, I wouldn't worry about these. So.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, Dean, I know you're a huge Boba Fett fan. Is there anything concerning or actionable here with these soon-to-be waitlisted figures?
No. I mean, honestly, every time they've said this is a thing, it turns out it's not a thing.
Exactly.
Every single time. And Carlos said it better than anyone. or maybe it was Leo. Just because you don't get it from Sideshow doesn't mean there's not 1,000 other places to order this online.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just been burned by Sideshows too many times to fall for this.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
Yeah, I'm
I've
not
seen
falling
it
for that.
so many times. We've covered this on Collecting Weekly, like no less than 12 times.
Yep.
And it's just like, and then they come out with like videos of them like on like
Yeah,
Zoom
nah.
calls, like if it says it, that's
Hey, I'll
it's
read the private chat.
definitely it. It's like, come on, guys.
Which one?
Private chat.
Nice. Well, I will say, yeah, I'm with you, Dean. I think overall it's hard to say there's anything too crazy actionable just because they keep doing this over and over. Some of these are not coming back in stock, but I will say the wait lists seem to be converting pretty frequently. I know Riley's been joining like a ton of wait lists, and a lot of them are converting. So, Riley's a rich man apparently. So, all the work he does at BJ's. So. Yeah, but guys, nonetheless, thank you so much for your awesome thoughts on that one. I would say hold tight for now unless you really need these, and you can get them at Sideshow or get them somewhere else. So I guess we'll see what happens. Nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for your thoughts. We are going to wrap the show there because Last of Us starts in 2 minutes. So we're going to get that rolling. So
Yeah,
before we do that,
yeah.
what'd you say, Leo?
1-6 scale man, you can find me there. I'm out.
I know Tori's going to start the show without you, bro.
Yeah.
So Dean, what's going on with you, man, on Collecting Weekly?
Yeah, we got just a week full of content for you guys. Starting Monday, tomorrow we got unboxings, and Tuesday's our main show. Wednesday we just hang out, shoot the shit. Thursday we got the British correspondents talking about their stuff. Friday statue talk. So it's a full week.
Nice. So, by the way, guys, Carlos says a shit. So, so I think that's what's going on. So he's gonna shit his pants again. So,
nigga, bro. He's sweating.
so Layout, dude, what's coming up on your
fan
channel,
right
bro?
here.
What'd you say?
What's coming up on the 1/6 scale, man?
Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, I'll be dropping another, like this third video I dropped in this weekend is basically another video. This one is the Taskmaster versus the Avengers. So stay tuned for that one. Comic book talk with friends tomorrow night. Say What Wednesday, unsupervised couches on Thursday. And of course, we got Figure Flex Friday. That's it. I'm out, man. That's all you need.
Well, happy to have you and Dean both, bro, and Carlos. I know you got to go through this real quick, bro. What's coming up in the group?
So a place for collecting is a place where it's no drama. Join it. Let's go. That's all I got. Thank you for having me,
all right,
bro.
Thank you so much to everyone on the panel and in the chat. Thank you all for an amazing live stream. I put out a video today, top 10 figures in my collection that are 1/6 scale. Put out the INArt Joker review. Check both of those out. We'll be back Friday for Lights Camera Kiko Collect. We're going to be doing that. And guys, thank you so much. Enjoy Last of Us. Let me know what your thoughts are and shoot me a message if you will. Anyway, bye. See you. Bye.